Let's be honest, the most expensive mistake a landlord can make isn't buying the wrong property, it's trusting the wrong payment system and spending the next decade chasing rent like a part-time debt collector. We're talking about one of the most unsexy, overlooked decisions in real estate investing, and it might be costing you more than your mortgage rate ever could. Every single month, landlords across the country lose thousands of dollars, not from vacancies, not from repairs, but from late rent, awkward conversations, and a broken collection process that was never designed to win. The National Apartment Association has found that properties using automated payment systems collect on time at rates as high as 95% compared to roughly 70% for manual methods. And that gap is the difference between a thriving portfolio and a stressful second job. So why does any of this happen in the first place? And why are so many investors still accepting checks in 2025 like it's 1987? The answer is habit, both yours and your tenants, because the path of least resistance always wins. And if you make paying rent harder than ordering takeout, people will default to excuses before they default to payment. Think of rent collection like a vending machine versus a sit-down restaurant. One removes friction entirely and gets the result immediately, while the other requires scheduling, effort, and social interaction that humans are hardwired to delay. ACH AutoPay Automated Clearinghouse is that vending machine, pulling funds directly from tenant bank accounts on a set date without anyone lifting a finger. And platforms like Buildium, Avail, and AppFolio have made this the gold standard for on-time collection. Just a few years ago, Venmo and Zelle felt revolutionary in the landlord space. And investors were patting themselves on the back for going digital while still manually requesting payment every single month. But there's a massive difference between a digital transaction and an automated one. The former still requires your tenant to remember, intend, and act, which, no offense to your tenants, is exactly where the system breaks down. The psychology here is fascinating and a little humbling because research consistently shows that opt-in auto-pay tenants pay on time over 92% of the time, while those on manual digital methods hover around 78%. It's not that your tenants are irresponsible, it's that human beings are wired to procrastinate, and every extra step between intent and action is a dropout point. Now let's talk about what actually moves the needle, because not all autopay is created equal. Platforms that send automated reminders 3 to 5 days before the due date and allow tenants to split payments in emergencies see meaningfully higher completion rates than rigid, all or nothing systems. The irony is that giving tenants a little flexibility actually increases your on-time collection rate because a partial payment processed automatically beats a full payment promised but never sent. Here's a misconception worth killing right now. Many landlords believe that requiring autopay is legally aggressive or tenant hostile, when in reality, survey after survey shows tenants prefer it because it removes the mental load of remembering due dates. You're not forcing them into something predatory. You're removing a chore from their life while protecting your cash flow, which is the rare win-win that real estate investing almost never hands you. History gives us a useful lens here too, because the landlords who adopted direct deposit over paper checks in the 90s saw collection improve within the first quarter, just as those who moved to online portals in the 2000s saw the same pattern repeat. The technology changes, the behavior change follows, and the investors who adopt early consistently outperform those who wait for the perfect solution. Let's get practical. If you're building or restructuring your system today, the move is to require ACH AutoPay as a lease term, offer a small incentive like a $25 rent credit for enrollment, and use a property management platform that sends automated reminders and generates receipts without your involvement. That combination, a loan mandate, incentive, and automation, is what separates landlords with 90% on-time rates from those perpetually texting, just checking in on this month's rent. Position sizing matters here too, because if you own one property and you're still manually collecting, the pain is manageable. But if you're scaling to 5, 10, or 20 units, a broken collection system doesn't just annoy you, it caps your growth ceiling entirely. Discipline in your operational systems is exactly like discipline in your investment strategy. The habits you build at Unit 1 will either compound in your favor or against you by Unit 20. There's something almost philosophical about rent collection that most investors never sit with long enough. It's not just about money. It's about designing a system that runs without your emotional energy attached to it. The landlords who sleep best at night aren't necessarily the ones with the best properties. They're the ones whose operations don't require them to show up every month hoping someone remembers. And yes, even if your tenant base is rock solid and you've never had a late payment in years, that's not a system that's luck dressed up as competence, and luck has a terrible track record as a long-term strategy. Automate the mundane so you can focus your attention on the decisions that actually require a human acquisitions, negotiations, capital allocation, and building real wealth. The bottom line is this: automated ACH rent collection isn't a luxury feature for big operators. It's the baseline standard that any serious investor should implement from day one. And the data is not ambiguous on this. Discipline in your process, consistency in your system, and patience with the compounding results will always outperform gut instinct and good vibes. Whether you're just getting started or optimizing a portfolio you've already built, the right infrastructure changes everything. And if you need help with real estate investing, home contracting work, or finding the right lenders, check out our links in the description below.